Welcome, everyone. Get ready for a truly epic, almost cinematic journey through one of the most famous stories ever told. Today, we're not just talking about the flood. We're diving deep into the storm before the flood. It was a time of giants, heroes, and a heartbreaking decision that would change the world forever.
Okay, let's just jump right in. Have you ever had that feeling, where you look around and it seems like you're the only one trying to do what's right, while everyone else is just going in the completely wrong direction? Well, we're about to travel back in time to meet a family who faced that exact problem, not just in their neighborhood, but across the entire globe. It's a feeling we can all relate to, but for them, the stakes were just unbelievably high. So our story doesn't start with raindrops, and it doesn't start with an arc. It begins with a world that was starting to lose its way. The sound you would have heard back then wasn't thunder, not yet. It was the growing, deafening noise of a world just spiraling out of control. I want you to imagine you have this bird's-eye view of a young, vibrant world. You'd see towns and villages spreading out across the green earth, just buzzing with life and energy. It looks amazing from a distance, but as you get closer, you start to see this shadow just creeping over everything. And this is where things get really intense. The story tells us that the lines between heaven and earth, between the spiritual world and the physical world, they were starting to get all blurred up and broken down. And this created this deep, spreading chaos, a sign that the very fabric of the world was being torn apart. Now, this world wasn't just filled with bad guys. It was filled with these really impressive, powerful figures called the Nephilim. They were famous, like the superheroes or celebrities of their day. But here's the thing, their greatness wasn't about being good. They were actually a symptom of how sick the world was, not a sign of its strength. Okay, so let's shift our view for a second. Imagine the camera pulling way back from all that noise and chaos on Earth, rising up past the clouds so we can see how all of this was being seen and felt from a heavenly perspective. From up there, the problem was way deeper than just what people were doing. It had gotten into their very core. The source of their imagination, their dreams, their plans, every single thought was just dark, all the time. And this verse, it's not really about anger. The original Hebrew word here points to something much, much heavier. It's this profound sadness, this deep grief. It was like a kind of divine heartbreak over this beautiful creation that had just completely lost its way. But even in the deepest, darkest moments, when it feels like all hope is totally gone, there can be a single point of light. And in this story, that single point of light was a man named Noah. In a world where pretty much everyone was blending into this growing darkness, one person's character shone so brightly that it was noticed from heaven. The text says Noah found favor, which is another word for grace or charm. His goodness was like a beacon shining in the gloom. This chart just shows the contrast so perfectly. Look, on one side you've got the world, corrupt, violent, totally disconnected. And on the other side, you have Noah, righteous and blameless. But that last line is everything. He walked faithfully with God. While the rest of the world was literally running away from its creator, Noah, with his family, was walking with him, step by step. So because the world had become so broken, so filled with violence that it was literally destroying itself, a really difficult and somber decision had to be made. An entire age of the world was about to come to a close. And there it is, the divine verdict. It was basically a declaration that the world's operating system was so corrupted by this virus of violence that it couldn't be fixed. It needed a total reset, a chance to wash everything clean and start over. But listen to this. With this sentence of the end came this incredible blueprint for a new beginning. God wasn't just ending the world, he was creating a very specific way to save it. God didn't just say, hey, Noah, build a boat. No. He gave him a detailed architectural plan for this massive vessel of survival. Every single detail was laid out, from the exact kind of wood to use to the layout of the rooms inside. And to give you an idea of the size, 300 cubits is about 450 feet long. That's 1.5 football fields. This wasn't some little boat. This was a monumental, gigantic construction project. Can you even imagine being asked to build something on this scale? I mean, everyone around you probably thought you were crazy, laughing at you every day. This mission wasn't just about hammers and wood. It was about having an unshakable faith when faced with something that seemed absolutely impossible. And this incredible blueprint, It was so much more than just instructions for a boat. It was part of a sacred promise. It was a guarantee that there would be a future. Okay, this word covenant is one of the most important ideas in the whole Bible. It's not just a contract or a deal. It's a deep, personal, two-way promise. God was making a formal, binding agreement with Noah, basically promising him and his family, I will keep you safe through this storm.
So here was the mission, the Great Commission, laid out step by step. First, the warning, a flood is coming. But right after, the promise, I will establish my covenant with you. Then came the tasks. Get your family, gather the animals, the future of all life on Earth, and then gather enough food to take care of everyone. It was a massive, world-saving mission.
And this is it, the final, powerful line of the chapter that sums up everything we need to know about this man. And Noah did everything just as God commanded him. No arguments, no questions, no hesitation. This one simple sentence just shows the incredible depth of Noah's character. A quiet, complete, wholehearted obedience. So, why does this ancient story with giants and a giant boat still matter so much to us today? Well, because at its very heart, it's a deep lesson in character. It's about what the Jewish sages call midot, which are our inner character traits. You could even call them our inner dimensions. You see, the deepest lesson from Noah is that our character isn't defined by what's popular, it's defined by what's right. So here is your challenge for this week. It's called Walk Your Path. When you see a group of people heading in a direction you know is wrong, maybe it's gossip or leaving someone out or just being unkind, the challenge is to find the courage to stand apart, to simply choose not to join in. It's about being brave enough to walk your own path, even if you have to walk it alone for a little while. And that leads to this final thought for you and your family to talk about together. How can you support each other in being the Noah in your own worlds? How can you be that point of light for others, even when it's really, really hard? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardas. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.